For so many Ontarians, especially us suburban white kids, the Mandarin was our introduction to Chinese food, and honestly, Chinese culture in general. From the koi ponds, to the neon-lit dining rooms, to the giant wall murals that make you feel like you're eating in a travel brochure, the Mandarin isn't just a buffet. It's an experience. So today, let's take a deep dive into the story of the Mandarin, how it started, how it became a staple across southern Ontario, and how it built one of the most loyal fan bases in Canadian food history. Part 1. Origins. The Mandarin's story begins with 4 Chinese Canadians, James Chu, George Chu, Casey Chang, and Diane Chu. Before they started the business we all know and love today, they worked in restaurants in New York and Montreal and learned the business inside and out. Then, in 1979, they moved to Toronto and bought a small restaurant in Brampton, Ontario, and gave it a simple name that would soon be iconic: the Mandarin. Part 2. Beginnings. Now here's something not a lot of people know. The Mandarin didn't start as a buffet. The original location was tiny, so small that buffet tables weren't even an option. Everything was ordered a la carte, off a menu. But word was spreading fast. People loved the food, the atmosphere, and the sense of hospitality, and the restaurant grew more popular every year. The owners had to physically expand it again and again and again, just to fit all the new customers. By 1986, the Mandarin had grown to 9,000 square feet, and that's when it would introduce the buffet format that would make it so legendary. But it wasn't just a buffet, it was the buffet, the kind of place you walk in and you don't know whether to pick sushi, roast beef, spring rolls, or soft serve ice cream. I mean, they even have pizza. I used to be a very picky eater, and even I could fill a plate. Part 3. Continued growth. The buffet was such a massive success that in 1988, the Mandarin opened up its second location in Mississauga, Ontario. But here's the genius part. They didn't just hire random franchisees. If you wanted to run a Mandarin, you had to be an employee first, for at least a year, and you also had to graduate the company's management apprenticeship program. This created a group of franchise owners that actually understood the culture, the service, and the huge expectations that customers had. And it's one of the main reasons why Mandarin restaurants tend to feel so consistent. Throughout the early 90s, the Mandarin continued to expand across southern Ontario, slow, steady, and focused on quality. But then, in 1996, they launched something that would put them on the Canadian food map forever. Part 4. The famous Canada Day celebration. In 1996, the Mandarin announced something wild. Free buffet on Canada Day for all Canadian citizens.
Celebrate, let's go!
Let the celebrations begin. Bring family and friends and join the fun.
Celebrate, Mandarin.
No catch, no fine print, just walk in and eat. After waiting in line, of course.
And to celebrate 45 years yesterday, a free buffet at any of its restaurants here in the province of Ontario, all 30 locations, only mild turnout. Check that. Look at the lineups outside of Mandarins across Ontario.
On the first Canada Day promotion, they served over 15,000 people in one day, an insane number for a buffet. And the promotion was such a hit that they brought it back every 5 years. Over all those celebrations, the Mandarin has served over 160,000 guests, completely free, and is said to be a thank you to Canadian citizens for making the owners feel so welcome when they first arrived. It's arguably one of the most wholesome traditions any chain restaurant has ever done. Part 5. Even more growth. By the early 2000s, the Mandarin was already a well-known name across Ontario. With new locations opening up year after year, they could have easily slowed down and coasted on their success. But they did the opposite. While many competing buffet restaurants stayed the same, the Mandarin kept adapting, upgrading, and reinvesting in itself, and it paid off. And in 2002, they unveiled a flagship location that was connected to their head office. This wasn't just another restaurant, this was a full-on experience. It featured a waterfall, a giant aquarium, an aviary, seating for over 800 guests, and even a top-secret food safety microbiology lab. The message was clear. The Mandarin wasn't just a buffet, it was aiming to be the buffet.
Mandarin, the masters of taste. The true masters of taste.
From the early 2000s to today, the Mandarin continues to evolve. New buffet stations, updated dining rooms, seasonal buffets, and creative promotions to keep things fresh for those returning customers. And as of today, the Mandarin has 30 locations, stretching all the way from Ottawa to Windsor. So from a tiny restaurant in Brampton to an Ontario institution, the Mandarin has become more than just a place to grab plate after plate after plate of food. It's a slice of Canadian Chinese culture. It's nostalgia. It's family celebrations, birthdays, graduations, and I'm going back for third moments. And even though it's just a restaurant, it's a beautiful story about newcomers who built something with hard work, innovation, and hospitality. So if you grew up in Ontario, drop your Mandarin memories in the comments. What was your go-to plate? How many trips to the dessert section could you handle? And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Canadian restaurant history, leave a like and tell me which restaurant you want to see next. Thanks for watching, and remember, at the Mandarin, there's always room for one more plate.